So today I'm in the test place for Phantom Forces, and we have the new Scar Hammer, the Hammer IAR. Really cool thing. So it's actually the first of its kind, if I'm not mistaken, where we have a gun that starts off with a slower rate of fire than what it finishes with. And the description that it tells you is that as the barrel heats up, it ends up providing more of a fire rate. Really cool, in all honesty. Something that we, like I said, I'm 99% sure we've never had in Phantom Forces. A really unique thing to see. This just does it by default. This is just how the gun's going to be, which is kind of interesting. The Scar Hammer has been kind of a staple gun for me over the years, something that you could always rely on, and really hasn't received many changes over the years either. So to see something this drastic happen to it is both a little saddening, but also kind of fun. And I sort of enjoy it, weirdly enough. So when you kind of get punished if you're really accurate, truth be told. Like if you're only shooting one guy and you need to just hit those first 4 shots, you're kind of punished for it, right? Like you shoot a lot slower. I think it's 200 rounds per minute slower than what you would when the gun is at its full rate of fire. As you can see, you'll kind of notice throughout the video if you pay attention, the rate of fire ramps up quite a bit as I keep holding left click. So if you're inaccurate, it actually works in your favor. Or if there's, you know, a long string of enemies, multiple guys that you're going for, things like that, it does work in your favor. Now, another thing I really like is that it doesn't seem to change your recoil at all as you shoot faster, which is good because obviously if your recoil is going up higher, it makes it harder to use, and you don't necessarily want that. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you're also still able to throw on the 100-round mag for this, which makes it so you could rapid fire for, you know, an obscure amount of bullets. Kind of cool. So I enjoy it, truthfully. I didn't think I would because of my history with the Scar Hammer. It's a gun that I got 200 kill game with. It's a gun that I use for a lot of my world records at the times. It's a really, first of all, you're disgusting. Second off, it's just a really nostalgic gun for me. So I was a little hesitant going into this. I was scared I wouldn't like it. And, you know, we all know that I love to do a good old complain every now and then. But when you're using it like this, when it kind of kicks up to that rate of fire and you can hold it at a range, it's really nice to have. One of the worst things about the Scar Hammer has always been its rate of fire. It didn't shoot that incredibly fast, so that when you actually were using it, it was sort of considered one of the lesser LMGs nowadays. Things like the AUG H-bar have sort of just held precedent over the game for quite some time, and you sort of didn't ever see anyone using the Scar Hammer for obvious reasons. Can this guy stop, like, sliding? Can I see his head? No, I can't. Just a little bit of height. Maybe up here. And there we go. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so hesitant going into it, was a little bit worried, but with the rate of fire being low on the Scar Hammer, and then also just the damage not being like insane, there's other guns that shot similar speeds but had higher damage. So the Scar Hammer became kind of obsolete as years went on. It was no longer anywhere near as good as it once was many years ago. So as it's kind of fallen out of the public eye, this is a nice touch to it, something that might actually make it useful for people. I know personally for me, I'd probably use this in main game now. You have the ability to compete with other guns, and that's really nice because it still is a super accurate LMG. It's still a top pick for people who don't have the best skill. So you could take this gun and not have, you know, much recoil control. You can kind of just point it in a general direction, hold left click, and you get rewarded. And that's something I'm glad they didn't change. I'm glad that the, you know, faster rate of fire didn't super amp up the recoil. It does still lack in damage what other LMGs would make up with. It's not taking away a certain niche of LMG. It's not going to be taking over the LMG category, as we know that's a really powerful category to begin with, but it's going to fit into its nice, really unique own little personal spot that I don't think any LMG will take over. Now, I do want to say that this is something that I'm hoping sticks to just the Scar Hammer. While it is super cool, it is unique, it is definitely fun, I don't want to see it becoming a norm all around, because that takes the fun away from the Scar Hammer, and then we'll just make it a normal everyday thing that not everyone is probably going to want to have. But you know, I'm hoping that it stays with just the Scar Hammer. I'm hoping that this doesn't become a trend of things. I understand that there are other guns IRL that could fit this bill of having a ramped up firing rate, but I just don't want to see that happen. Let's keep it to one thing. Let's keep it fun. Something that stays, you know, as defined, unique, and make sure that it doesn't go anywhere from there, and I'd be pretty happy with it. wouldn't really have too many complaints. But that's about it. This test play server has been kind of dead, so I apologize if there hasn't been much gameplay going on rather than me just talking, but we got to make do with what we have here. Okay, all right, hold up. That was almost a really good example of the fire rate increasing as I whiff and people are constantly jumping around the corner, but at the end of the day, we suck. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. If you want to hop on the test place and give it a try, you're more than welcome to. I believe it's automatically locked by default, or unlocked, not locked, by default. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.